The air was thick with grief. I clutched my husband's hand one last time, tears slipping silently down my cheeks. The room was crowded with relatives, friends, and neighbors, all whispering condolences and memories that felt distant to me. My heart ached in ways words could never explain. I never thought I'd feel this empty. My daughter-in-law Aisha stood a few steps away, composed and calm. She wore a black dress, perfectly ironed, and a faint smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. I watched her quietly, trying to understand how someone could appear so collected at such a moment. I should have felt comforted by her presence, but instead, a strange unease crawled under my skin. After the ceremony, we gathered near the family car. Everyone was saying their goodbyes, offering hugs and prayers. Aisha approached me gently and handed me a small cloth bag. "Mom, I just want to give you this. I thought you might need it," she said softly. Her voice sounded sincere, but something in her tone made me hesitate. I opened the bag slowly, my fingers trembling. Inside, I found a delicate pendant. It was beautiful silver, with a small, sparkling gem, but it wasn't the pendant itself that caught my attention. I noticed a tiny folded note tucked beneath it. I pulled it out and read the first line. My eyes widened. It was a message, written in a hurried hand. "Don't trust anyone. Keep this safe." A cold chill ran through me. Why would she leave this for me? And why now, of all moments? My mind raced. I had always believed that Aisha was loyal, caring, someone who truly loved my son and me. But this cryptic note made me question everything I thought I knew about her. As I held the bag, I noticed her eyes on me. They were calm, almost expectant, and a small, unreadable smile lingered on her lips. "Thank you," I whispered, feeling a mix of gratitude and fear. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept the bag beside my bed, staring at the note over and over. Who could I trust? What was she warning me about? And why did my gut tell me that this pendant was more than just a gift? Little did I know, the answer to that question would unravel the life I thought I knew and expose secrets that would shake our family to its core. The house felt different that night. Quieter, almost too quiet. After everyone went home, I washed the funeral dishes alone, the clinking sounds echoing through the empty rooms. My son Kashif had fallen asleep early from exhaustion, leaving me alone with my thoughts and that mysterious pendant. I placed it on the dining table and stared at it, the gem catching the light like an eye watching me. The note's warning repeated in my mind. Don't trust anyone. Keep this safe. But why me? Why now? I replayed every interaction I ever had with Aisha. She had always been respectful, attentive. Not once had she spoken harshly to me. But as I thought deeper, I remembered moments that felt strange. Times she'd whisper on the phone and stop talking when I entered. Days she'd disappear for hours without explanation. At the time, I didn't care enough to question. But now those memories felt like clues. Around midnight, I heard soft footsteps in the hallway. My heart jumped. I grabbed the pendant quickly and hid it beneath my pillow. The door creaked open slightly. For a moment, I held my breath. "Mom," it was Aisha's voice. "Are you awake?" I swallowed. "Yes." "What's wrong?" She stepped inside, her silhouette framed by the dim hallway light. "I wanted to check if you're okay. You seemed shaken earlier." Her voice was soft, too soft. I forced a shaky smile. "I'm fine." But I saw her eyes searching the room, not for concern, but for something. "My purse," she suddenly said. "Did I leave it here after the funeral?" Suspicion prickled inside me. "No, I don't think so." "Oh," she replied, smiling politely. "It's probably downstairs then. Good night." She closed the door gently, but I didn't sleep. I stayed awake staring at the ceiling, listening to footsteps downstairs, drawers opening softly, fabric rustling. Was she searching for the pendant? At dawn, I descended the stairs quietly. Aisha was already in the living room with tea, her eyes tired but alert. When she noticed me, she smiled. "Long night?" she asked. "Yes," I replied cautiously. She watched me closely, then leaned in. "Let me know if you need anything." Her hand briefly touched mine, cold, lingering as if silently threatening rather than comforting. That evening, curiosity gnawed at me. I opened the pendant's clasp. Inside, instead of a picture, I found a microchip-like card and a smaller folded paper. My breath caught. "If anything happens to me, this will explain everything." My knees weakened. I sat heavily, clutching the pendant tightly. Was my husband trying to tell me something from beyond the grave? Why did she have this? And what was she hiding? The world I thought I understood was slipping away. Peace by Sinister Peace. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to like the video. Share it with someone who loves family drama stories. Subscribe to my channel for the next shocking part. My hands trembled as I held the tiny folded paper. It felt fragile, old, like it had been hidden for years. When I opened it, I recognized the handwriting instantly. My husband's. My heart tightened, and for a moment, I could almost feel him sitting beside me again. The note read, "If you find this, it means time ran out. Trust no one, especially those closest." My breath hitched. Especially those closest. Was he warning me about family? The last few months of his life suddenly flashed in my mind. The hushed phone calls, the stress on his face, the way he'd dismiss questions and say everything was fine. Everything was not fine. I studied the small memory card. It was thin, shaped like a proprietary chip. I had seen nothing like it before. But I knew one thing. Whatever it contained, somebody wanted it. That's why Aisha slipped it into my bag at the funeral. But why me? Before I could think further, the front door opened. My son Kashif entered with groceries, smiling sadly. When he saw the pendant on the table, his expression shifted. Quickly, "Where did you get that?" he asked. His tone was sharp. "Too sharp. It belonged to your father," I replied, trying to sound casual. He frowned. "No, it didn't. I've never seen it before." I slipped the pendant into my pocket discreetly. Something in his eyes unsettled me, worry mixed with fear. Later that evening, I found Aisha in her room, pacing nervously. She stopped when she saw me. "Mom, did you open it?" She didn't specify what it was. She didn't have to. "Yes," I answered carefully. Her face paled. "Listen," she whispered, closing the door. "There are things you don't understand. Your husband, he was involved with something dangerous. People are looking for this." My throat went dry. "What people?" She shook her head. "If I tell you, you'll be in danger." "I already am," I whispered back harshly. Her eyes softened. "Just promise me, whatever you do, do not give it to Kashif." My heart sank. "Why?" But before she could answer, the front gate rattled loudly. Voices. Deep, urgent. Someone pounded on our door. Aisha's face drained of color. Without thinking, she shoved me into the wardrobe and whispered, "Don't come out, no matter what you hear." She stepped out and closed the door, leaving me in darkness. My heartbeat pounded in my ears like drums. Footsteps echoed through the house. Men's voices. Harsh demands. "We know you have it. Hand it over." A slam. A gasp. My blood froze. Minutes felt like hours. I pressed my ear against the door. A man whispered angrily, "Check everywhere." Footsteps approached my room. I clutched the pendant and prayed silently. My husband's warning echoed in my mind. "Trust no one." The doorknob turned slowly. The wardrobe door rattled as someone tugged at it. I held my breath, my pulse racing so loudly I feared it would give me away. Heavy footsteps thudded in the room, drawers thrown open, cabinets slammed. I could hear their voices, unfamiliar, impatient, dangerous. "She had it. Find it," one of them growled. Aisha's voice quivered. "I told you, I don't know what you're talking about." A slap cracked through the air. I nearly burst from my hiding place. But fear glued me still. My hands were tight around the pendant, my fingers digging into my skin. The silence that followed was worse than the chaos. Thick, heavy, suffocating. Then the wardrobe handle twisted again. My heart stopped. Before it opened, Kashif barged into the room. "What's going on here? Who are you people? Get out of our house." His voice trembled, but he stood firm. The men hesitated. The house was full of neighbors. Lights, attention to risky. "We'll be back," one of them hissed. Their footsteps retreated. The front door slammed. I stayed hidden, frozen, until I heard Aisha whisper faintly, "They're gone." I finally pushed the wardrobe door open. Aisha's cheek was red from the slap, her eyes wet. Kashif stood by her side, shaken. "What did they want?" he demanded. Before she could answer, I stepped between them. "You tell us, Kashif. Why do you look like you knew?" His gaze flickered. Guilt, fear, confusion. He turned away. "That pendant," he murmured. "Dad used to meet strangers late at night. I asked him once, and he told me to forget I ever saw anything. Maybe he was protecting us, or hiding something from us." That night, after a tense dinner, I tried to sleep, but couldn't. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling eyes everywhere. At 3 a.m., I heard hushed voices downstairs, quiet, careful. Curiosity pulled me from bed. I slipped down the hallway silently. At the bottom of the stairs, I saw shadows. Kashif and Aisha standing close, arguing in whispers. What if she knows everything? Aisha hissed. Kashif's voice shook. She can't. We can still fix this. Fix what? My stomach twisted. My own son. The boy I raised keeping secrets from me. With his wife. Suddenly, the stairs creaked under my feet. They both froze and looked up, their eyes, wide and startled, locked onto me. Mom, what are you doing awake? Kashif asked, trying to smile. I stepped down slowly. I could ask you the same question. Neither spoke. The silence stretched until it hurt. Finally, Aisha swallowed hard. We need to talk. In private. My knees weakened. Whatever they were about to tell me would change everything. But I couldn't stop now. Tell me, I whispered. All of it. Aisha took a deep breath. It's about your husband, and the reason those men will not stop coming. If you're hooked on this story, don't forget to like this video, share it with friends who love dramatic twists, subscribe to my channel for the next unbelievable part. We sat at the dining table in the dim glow of a single lamp. It felt like an interrogation room. My hands were cold, my heart restless. I looked at my daughter-in-law Aisha, and then at my son Kashif, who couldn't meet my eyes. Start talking, I whispered. Aisha sighed, rubbing her swollen cheek. Your husband, Baba, he wasn't just running his business, he was helping someone, secretly. Helping who? I asked, confused. She hesitated. Kashif shifted nervously. He was working with the Federal Investigation Department, she said finally. He gathered evidence against a criminal group, the same men who came tonight. The room swayed slightly. My husband, my simple, quiet husband. I thought the biggest secret he ever kept was sneaking sweets into the house, Aisha continued. He collected files, recordings, documents, all stored on that pendant. A micro-storage chip. It has enough evidence to put dangerous men behind bars. I gulped hard. Then why give it to me? Because, she said, leaning forward, everyone would expect Kashif to have it, but nobody would suspect the grieving widow. My chest tightened. Suddenly, I felt less safe and more like a target. Kashif slammed his fist on the table. They won't stop, Mom. They think I have it. That's why they came tonight. I stared at my son. Sweat glistened on his forehead. He'd been terrified. Maybe he had been trying to protect us. Where do we go from here? I whispered. Aisha clasped her hands. We need to disappear for a few days. Lay low, then hand this over to the authorities. But the authorities failed, Kashif snapped. Dad died because they didn't protect him. Silence swallowed us. I felt a sting in my eyes. My husband died alone with secrets. Secrets he carried to protect us. Suddenly, a loud knock shattered the quiet. We froze. 3 rapid bangs. Then, silence. A card slid under the door. I stared at it from across the room. A black business card with a red symbol. Aisha gasped. It's them. They're watching. My stomach turned. I hurried to the window and peeked through the curtains. A car idled across the street. Headlights off. I stepped back, trembling. What do they want? I cried. The pendant, Aisha whispered, and whoever knows what's inside. We retreated to our rooms quietly, but sleep wouldn't come. Every little creak felt like footsteps, every shadow like a man waiting. At dawn, I found a small envelope outside my door. My name was written in ugly red ink. Inside, a single line, return what's ours, or someone else dies. My knees buckled. Someone else. Who else did they want? My husband's warning repeated in my head. Trust no one. And suddenly, I realized who might be next. Morning sunlight filtered weakly through my curtains, but it brought no warmth. I hadn't slept at all. The eerie red-ink message haunted me. Every word felt like a noose tightening. I hurried downstairs, heart pounding, expecting to find Kashif and Aisha drinking tea anxiously like the night before. But the kitchen was empty. Chairs slightly pulled out, as if someone left in a hurry. I called. Silence answered Kashif. My voice cracked. No response. I searched every room, guest room, storage, backyard, nothing. My palms began to sweat. A fear I'd never known settled in my chest. Finally, I climbed the stairs to their bedroom. The door was half open, the bed sheets wrinkled, the wardrobe open, drawers pulled out. My heart dropped. I screamed their names again, voice echoing through the empty house. Nothing. Then, I noticed something on the bedside table. A single earring. Aisha's. It was lying sideways, as if pulled during a struggle, like someone dragged her out. Tears blurred my vision. I collapsed to my knees. In my shaking hand, the pendant felt heavier than ever. Had they taken my children because of this tiny piece of metal? My chest tightened with guilt. If anything happened to them, I would never forgive myself. Suddenly, the phone rang. I jumped and grabbed it instantly. Hello. A voice filtered through, deep, calm, cold. We have her. My mouth dried. Who are you? Leave my family alone. You have something that belongs to us. Every cell in my body tensed. I'll give it to you. Just don't hurt them. She's unharmed. For now. But you will follow instructions. Alone. Then the line went dead. I collapsed into the chair, sobbing. Kashif was missing too. I couldn't reach his phone. Had they taken both? Was he with her? Or, worse? Then, a soft knock on the door. I froze. Cautiously, I opened it a crack and gasped. It was Kashif. Bruised, limping, terrified. I pulled him inside. Where's Aish? They took her, he gasped. They grabbed us when we went outside. I fought. They dragged her into a van. Mom, I'm sorry I couldn't stop them. His voice broke. My heart shattered. I grabbed his face gently. It's not your fault. His eyes were filled with remorse and something else. Fear. We can't go to the police, he whispered. They're everywhere. Dad warned us. That's when I remembered something. Weeks before he died, my husband hid keys behind the old photo frame. I rushed to the living room, pulled the dusty frame off the wall, and behind it, taped carefully, were two keys. One shaped like an old safe, the other a storage lock. My God, I whispered. The pendant wasn't the only secret he left behind. Kashif looked at me, eyes wide. Mom, this is bigger than we thought. I clutched the keys, trembling. Aisha's life depended on what we found next, and suddenly, I wasn't just a grieving widow anymore. I was a woman at war. If this story shocked you, make sure to like this video, share it with friends who love suspenseful drama, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next emotional twist. The morning air was cold when we stepped outside, each step feeling like we were walking deeper into danger. I tightened my shawl around me, clutching the two keys from behind the picture frame. Kashif walked beside me, limping slightly, constantly checking over his shoulder. We took public transport, switching routes twice to avoid being followed. Every stranger's glance felt threatening. My heartbeat echoed in my ears. Finally, we reached an old storage facility on the outskirts of town. Rusty gates, tall, cracked walls, a guard who barely looked up from his magazine as we passed. We found locker number Y, the number engraved faintly on one of the keys. Kashif inserted the key, clicked. The door rolled up with a metallic groan, and inside was a small metal safe. I stared at it. Dad hid another level. I whispered. Kashif found the matching safe key. His hands trembled as he turned it. With a soft snap, the safe unlocked. Inside were thick files, photographs, envelopes, sealed in wax, and a ledger, all neatly stacked, labeled, my husband's handwriting everywhere. What is all this? Kashif breathed. I opened the ledger cautiously. My eyes scanned pages filled with names, dates, transaction records, money laundering, weapons shipments, political bribes. My husband had tracked everything. No wonder they want this, I murmured. At the bottom lay a USB drive. I picked it up and froze. It had a sticker. Aisha, confidential. My heart dropped. Another secret. Suddenly Kashif grabbed a file, and his face went pale. Mom, look. He handed it to me. Inside was a photograph, grainy, taken at night. It showed Aisha meeting a man near a warehouse, the same red symbol on his jacket as the card left at our door. My throat tightened. No, it can't be. She lied, Kashif whispered. She was never on our side. A storm of betrayal crashed inside me. All the kindness, the concern, was it staged? But then why did she warn me? Why did she get slapped protecting the pendant? Confusion tangled with fear. As we dug deeper, we found a letter addressed to me, sealed. My hands shook opening it. If you are reading this, they succeeded. Don't blame our son. Or his wife. She was forced. They threatened her family. Trust her, if she gives her life to save you. My breath caught, my vision blurred. And remember, the traitor is always the one you never suspect. I froze. Kashif leaned closer. Mom, what does he mean? Before I could answer, footsteps echoed down the storage corridor. Heavy, urgent, a voice thundered. Block this exit. They're here. Panic exploded inside me. Kashif grabbed my hand. Run. We sprinted between rows of lockers, turning corners blindly. Men's shadows stretched behind us. My lungs burned. Suddenly, a hand grabbed my wrist from the side. I screamed until I saw the face. Aisha, bruised, breathless, terrified. We don't have time, she whispered. There's something you need to know. You're trusting the wrong person. My world tilted. Kashif ran toward us. Thank God you're alive. Aisha pulled away, her eyes narrowed. Stay away from me, Kashif. Shock froze him. And then she said 7 words that shattered everything. Your husband didn't die from illness. Her words sliced through the corridor like a knife. Your husband didn't die from illness. For a heartbeat, the world went silent. My knees wobbled, and I grabbed the locker door for support. Kashif stared, eyes wide. What are you saying? He whispered. Aisha's voice shook. They poisoned him, slowly, quietly. When he got too close to exposing them, my stomach twisted. The coughs, the weakness, the doctors confused. We blamed stress, age, weather, but it was murder. And you knew, I whispered. She nodded, tears spilling. I found out too late, and when I tried to warn him, they took my family hostage. If I spoke, they'd kill them. So I pretended to work with them, watching, listening. My head spun. Then, why help me now? Because, she breathed, your husband asked one thing before he died, to protect you. Footsteps thundered behind us again. The men were closing in. Move, Aisha yelled, grabbing my arm. We need to get to the back exit. We sprinted down the concrete hallway. My lungs burned, my legs felt heavy, but fear carried me faster. Kashif ran beside us, but something about his expression twisted my gut. Worry mixed with something darker. We reached the emergency exit door padlocked. Give me the pendant, Aisha shouted. I hesitated for a fraction of a second, then handed it over. She pressed the gem. It clicked open again, revealing a tiny, metal key hidden inside. She unlocked the padlock swiftly. We burst into the parking lot, only to freeze. A black van skidded in front of us, blocking the path. Men spilled out, armed, furious. One stepped forward. Give us the files. And the woman. Aisha pushed me behind her like a shield. Run when I say so. Kashif's voice cracked. No. But then, he stepped toward them. My blood turned to ice. I gasped. He spoke calmly, too calmly. It's over. Give them the documents, Mom. They'll let us go. The leader smirked. Good boy. My husband's last line echoed in my skull. The traitor is always the one you never suspect. My heart shattered into pieces. My son. My own blood. Kashif, I whispered, barely breathing. What did you do? He couldn't look at me. They promised to protect us. I never meant for Dad to. He stopped, guilt burning his voice. Tears streamed down my face. Your father died trusting you. The leader raised his hand. Enough. Take the women. Aisha screamed. Now. She shoved me hard toward the alley. I ran. The sound of struggle erupted behind me. Shouts, punches, sirens, blue and red lights flooded the night. Police swarmed, tires screeched, men scattered. Aisha had triggered a silent alarm hidden in the pendant. Officers tackled the attackers, including the leader. Kashif froze, hands shaking, surrounded. One officer approached me gently. Your husband's evidence saved countless lives. My chest swelled with heartbreak and pride. Aisha collapsed beside me, exhausted. Your husband believed in justice. And what about you? I whispered. She smiled painfully. I just believed in him. Police handcuffed the criminals. Kashif wept as they dragged him away. Days later, my husband was honored publicly. His truth finally shined. And I stood alone at his grave. You were right, I whispered. Trust no one, except the heart. A soft breeze passed, warm, familiar, as if he forgave me. If you loved this emotional, twist-filled story, please like this video, share it with those who enjoy dramatic storytelling. Subscribe to my channel for more shocking emotional stories every week.